All right, this is our standard Hunterworks belt endorsement. We're going to start including this in all our videos related to clutching. Just let you know we do have belts. They've been outstanding, and give us a try. We are really only around a 1% failure rate. There's a video on what makes our belt better. Tech articles on the website, so make sure you check our belts out. Today we're going to show you how to put our round rollers in the 16 and newer non-turbos. The turbo RZR is not affected by this. It doesn't have round rollers, does not have square rollers. It has something else altogether different, so it's not applicable to this video. So a couple things I do want to cover before we get into the actual showing you how to do that is, one, why do we even have round rollers and what are we preventing? So I'm going to enter in a couple of pictures. As you can see from right here to these pictures, now this is a severe one and this is a relatively severe one. Okay, this is what happens when square pucks, they're just moving back and forth on the clutch and it just wears that side out. Round rollers do not do it. I mean, it's rolling back and forth. I'm not going to go into why Polaris uses them. I know why. It's not really fit for social media, but they're not changing them till the next clutch model. So let's get ahead of the curve, put our round rollers in. All right, our round rollers. Yes, other people make round rollers. Nobody's holds up to ours. We were the first, we're still the best. There's a particular material we use that out of, make it out of. Then there's 3 processes we go through to ensure reliability. Here's a picture of one of the more popular Torline rollers out there that you can take a look at. See that flat spot? That's what Torline does. Now, if you want to use the inside rollers on the helix from Polaris on the outside, you physically can do it. They flat spot way worse than those Torline rollers do. So just, it's not like it's a lot of money. If you're gonna buy a roller, buy the best, the one proven, get it here. Why do we send you 4 rollers? Very simple to us. If you have a condition in your clutch that you have a significant amount of wear, but your clutch isn't totally ruined, you can smooth it out. You can Dremel tool, sandpaper, whatever it is, even if it's arc shaped, you can smooth that transition out, and there's going to be typically a little groove in the back. Get it smoothed out, put 2 in, and kick the can down the road, hold on to the other 2 for future use, and never ever put them in the rear. They will fail. They do not go there. We've made them where you physically can't put them there, but yet people try, so don't. All right, so that's the reason for the why. So let's move on to one other topic before we get started. There is a difference between a 16 and 17 clutch. All right, let's go to the overhead view. See this big hole? Small hole. This was on 16 vehicles. This was on starting in 17. All right, in the old video we had you knock this out to use with our compressor, but as you can see in this view here, still our compressor is small, so we don't want you doing that. It's potential it may slide out. We don't want you doing it. All right, that is the difference between 16s and 17s and the reason for the small stem on our newer compressor. All right, so first thing you do is put your secondary down on here. Get your bail. Comes with a washer. I use an old roller from a old style clutch. All right, basically you just got to hold it. Best thing to do is to heat them up because there's Loctite. So we're gonna heat them up, and it's really best to heat it up 15-20 seconds, and sometimes you'll hear a little thing go dink. But anyway, at that point, then you take out your screws. All right. If you'll notice, when I'm using this impact, I do not just go to town because you don't want to break your bit of this. So I put a lot of downward pressure and just tap, tap. All right. They're all out, and then start taking the pressure off. One thing you'll want to recognize at this point, we can do it later, there's X on your helix here and there's X on your clutch. They stay lined up. If you don't see that, good idea, well, just mark it so that it can go back in the same place. All right. As I tell people on telephone, spring pressure is not required. Just makes the job easier. Take out they call this a spider these days. This is a Dalton clutch kit in mine, so I have this white washer, and take your spring out. All right, now what I do is take a 1/8 inch roll pin punch, and then I start tapping it. I do not want to knock it all the way out. So I'm gonna try to do this backwards. Let's see how we can do this. Well, let me get it started and then I'll show you. All right, where it'll stay in there. All right, with this overhead view, you're gonna be looking right here. Me doing it backwards, I'll probably knock it out. Because you see that pin. So let me just do it my way or I'll knock it out. So you'll start tapping, well, maybe you can do it this way. So you think it's just about out, and you can test that by pulling your roll pin back out. Hey, look at there, I got it, okay? Now mine already had round rollers in it. Yours is gonna have this square piece here, okay? So you take your square piece out, take your shaft, your roller, put it back in, and flat side goes up, and tap it back in. And then make sure that flat is up. And then at this point, I turn it over, take my roll pin punch, tap in, just get it. All that's doing is lining the two holes up. Flip it right back over. There is movement in this clutch. And I've got a punch that's flat at the bottom. And of course, we send you 2 rollers or 2 pins with it, and just repeat on the other side the same thing. We're not going to do it twice. Now set it back down on the compressor. I usually put my X towards me. Your spring has a tang on it. You have a recess in here. Mine has this washer because it's a Dalton kit. Put your spider back. I usually put my roller towards me. Your helix back with its X. Then your this back. Yep. Okay. And start putting it in. I don't go completely all the way. I get extremely close. Right about, maybe a little further. And you want to use blue Loctite on your screws. I usually got them over here. Let's see, put a little blue. I'm probably not going to have mine apart for a while, so I'm going to put the blue on there. Get it started by hand, and just repeat the other 4 times. All right, now that you got them, I got all mine started. I usually go just a little, make sure they're good. In. Be very careful, you can sure mess up some threads with an impact. Now I go all the way to the bottom. Tighten it up, now crisscross. Yes, there's a torque spec. No, I don't use it. I've been doing this 16 years. I know when to let go of that trigger. And that is a complete secondary. Now, in the event that you take your shafts out, both out, then you take this completely apart. There is an X, and it has to go back a certain way. Let's see if we can find it in this. I don't know if you're not going to hardly be able to see it even in overhead view. Maybe right there in the casting. And on the outside, on one of these, it's going to have one on it too. So when you putting it back together, those 2 X's have to go together so that it stays a balanced assembly. Just lucky I got that other secondary. All right, so I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. If you want to stay informed of any new videos and stuff we're working on, there's a subscribe red little button you can hardly read here. There'll be an eye up in this corner. There will be a link down below in the description to get to Hunterworks, and if any way we can help you in any manner, let us know. Thank you.